Hi, everyone.
Hey, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Laura.
And welcome to another episode of Beyond the Barricade,
where we are sitting down with artists and everybody behind the scenes in the music industry that make the shows happen.
Yep.
Today, we talk to Shevy Marie,
who is just the coolest person alive.
Yeah, she was on tour with Black Veil Brides when we sat down and talked to her. And we realized while talking to her, there are so many different titles that you can work in the music industry that you don't even think about firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
Because she literally does like everything.
Yeah, I think she says it in the beginning of the episode. I believe her title for this tour was she was a PA as well as assisting the tour manager. So quite literally did everything and anything that people needed on the tour. However, she was also assisting with makeup, which is so cool. And I didn't even
think about it.
Yeah, I don't even realize that that's a touring position. But think about all of the artists that have the big productions.
Special effects, makeup artists. Yeah, it's quite literally a skilled position that you have to be so trained in and so precise and so good. And she honestly is probably one of the best, I think. Even just following her as a human, I'm just like, holy crap, your work is so good.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
She was super fun to talk to because she just had such a cool journey as far as she originally wanted to work in makeup and then kind of found her way into the music industry, but also
was able to bridge the gap.
Yeah. Still doing makeup within the music industry, which is so cool. She had some really good points about how she broke into the music industry and some really good pointers in there for anyone that's kind of hoping to break into that.
I think too, it was really inspiring hearing her story in particular about how she had a passion, which was makeup in the beginning. And she was like, I think I can make this work in the music industry, not being a photographer or sound engineer, those main things that you first think of. But she was able to make those connections. And so it's really inspiring for people who, don't think off the top of their hand that they can combine their two passions together.
Yeah.
You really can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll let you listen to the episode, but she makes some just really good things to keep in mind as far as connections are everything and treating people like a human and just being on that human level with people. It can get you so far and open so many doors.
It really can. Yeah.
You don't even,
It's a really good episode. She has so many stories and I can honestly just talk to her so long. I think we kind of started to get lost in the interview because we were just talking to her as friends and we're like, oh wait, we have to keep this going. Oh wait, you actually are working right now.
You have a job to do.
You have to go set up.
I remember at the end of the episode, we needed to pack up all of our gear, but we also needed to take a photo of her for the cover of this episode. And she's like, okay, I have to go do something really fast.
Yeah, she's like, I have to go touch up their makeup before they go on. And we're like,
oh yes, you are doing.
You are on the clock. Yes. Yeah.
So we are very thankful to Shevy for giving us her time, especially in the midst of the chaos of touring.
Yeah. Literally while the other bands are going on, you'll kind of hear it in the background a little bit. So we thank her so much for being so flexible and just taking some time to talk to us.
Yeah. This is a really, really fun episode. We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Without further ado, here's Shevy.
I am Maddie.
And I'm Laura.
And today we are going Beyond the Barricade with Shevy Marie.
Hello! Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Chevy is a jack of all trades. She is currently on tour with Black Veil Brides, doing so many things.
Many, many things. I was going to say, we were talking about the intro. We're like, how do we introduce her? And I said, literally, any back end kind of crew, I'm pretty sure she does actively. Yes.
Yep. Right on this one specifically, it's assistant tour manager and PA. But lumped in there, I also handle the VIP. And since we've upped our production, or Black Veil has upped their production, I'm helping out with their makeup. So,
very cool.
Yes, jack of all trades is correct.
Yes, master of all of them. Yes.
I love that. So we want to talk about all of the different job titles that you have on this tour, but specifically we kind of wanted to touch or kind of start with the meet and greet portion of it.
Right.
And so obviously you're on the side of having a lot of interactions with the fans and seeing them face to face on a daily basis. So we kind of wanted to ask you, seeing these fans now and you're on kind of the other side of it, what were the bands for you where you were that kind of introduced you to music, got you really, for the first time, a big music fan, introduced you to the music world?
The bands that you would stand in line for a meet and greet.
Yes. Yeah. I've grew up with like metal, rock, alternative music. My mom was actually a DJ radio host for her local college.
So cool.
Shout out Hudson Valley. So I've kind of like been into this kind of sound for my entire life practically. And originally I never imagined ending up in the music scene. I just wanted to do makeup and I ended up working with Ice Nine Kills. So that kind of came like a full circle. And now here I am working with bands I never even imagined to work for, let alone befriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I have done VIPs in the past. And for me, you know, what I really get out of this is that I used to be in that VIP line. I used to be on the other side of the barricade. And so now that I'm on the stage or in the green rooms or just on a tour, creating memories for those people to cherish, or it's the one thing they were looking forward to, or it was a birthday gift from a friend. It's all of these things that I get to now contribute and help make their day or another core memory that they'll have for the rest of their life. So it really is fulfilling in all sorts of ways.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember going to one in particular, one that stands out to you when you were like on the other side, like you attending one?
I really liked Hollywood Undead. And
Yes.
I still do. So again, like
Amazing.
I toured with those guys and now I'm friends with them and it's like I get to say hi to them. So like, how are you? How is life? And catch up. And if you were to tell, you know, freshman 14-year-old Chevy that there's no way.
No
what
way.
do you mean?
Yeah.
So, it's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What a full circle moment.
Yeah.
The understatement.
Yes. You mentioned it was such a perfect setup and then I chose to go the other way, but it's fine. We'll bring it back.
Sure.
You mentioned about how, you know, you recently too, still being on the other side of the barricade and creating these moments for fans. It's very important. What is something that you do personally or something that you picked up doing because you remember from a time when you were on the other side? Like, what is something that you will actively try to do now? I can tell you, Gail's was printing out set lists and using her printer.
Yeah, it's I think specifically during VIP, I try to be a human. I try to give like that reassurance to a fan that like, you're going to have a great time tonight. Or like, you know, like I've experienced like some fans get like really worked up because they're about to meet somebody that, you know, helped them through a really rough time or just created some sort of art that really connected to them that felt like they could overcome any struggles that they were dealing with. So I tried to remember to be like, you're going to have a great time tonight. And they're the biggest goofballs. Like, I promise you, like, you can tell them a joke and they'll love it. But also, you know, doing food orders every day, I'm just like, it's a lot. So, but yeah, there's just countless things that I go through my day. And it's like, half of it's like, oh my God, this is insane that I do all this. And then the other of it is like, I get to do this. This is really awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a really cool point that you have because I know it can be such a thing for fans when they're meeting artists that have meant so much to them for so long for the first time to kind of like humanize them and kind of give that reassurance and almost be that like middleman for fans to just be like, it's
buffer.
Yeah. To just like take a breath and enjoy the moment. I love that that's something that you like consciously try to do.
Yeah, especially VIP too, because, you know, some of these can be pretty expensive for some people. So again, not only do they pay the admission for the show, but they'll pay for this meet and greet. So I do try to keep that in mind, like while I still have to do my job and I have to keep everything on schedule, which is kind of that, you know, boss girl kind of vibe.
Yep.
I still try to like be a human and let them know that it's all going to like this is what you need. This is what's going to be.
Also, that this
part.
is actually happening and this is real.
Yeah, of course. Yes,
I feel like that
enjoy the moment.
Yeah, that's so like a little thing that you don't even think about. Like you said, like these people paid, they've waited, it's on their calendars. This anticipation is building up for them. You almost sometimes forget like, oh my gosh, like I actually just met them. And then you're like, wait, that moment's gone. And so it's like, it's nice to have, I feel like somebody like you there to really be like, kind of like bring them, like ground them a little bit. Be like, this is actually happening. Yeah. And they're human like you guys. And they're, you know, just, I don't know, connecting with people is very important. And I feel like it's nice that you're able to be that middleman for them.
100%.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you never imagined yourself working in the music industry. You wanted to be in makeup and then you just kind of ended up here. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How, like, was there a certain experience that brought you into the music world or did you just kind of fall into it?
I just asked a question.
Ooh.
And here I am. I literally just asked, like, do you need somebody? And do you want somebody? And here I am. So I graduated college and I moved out of my apartment and kind of like said this whole goodbye to my college career and went to Warped Tour in 2018.
Hell yeah.
My mom dropped me off after just getting all the crap out of my apartment, said goodbye to my ex-best friend because we were having a falling out. And it was like, I'm going to Warped Tour because that's what I deserve.
Yes.
I had messaged Ricky Armelino, who is playing with Ice Nine Kills at the time. So we were friendly. We connected over rock climbing, bouldering, if you will. And then, went to Warped Tour and he's like, oh my God, like you missed our set, but come to the next one, which was Hartford, Connecticut. Now that's only like 2 hours away from
East Coast states.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was long story short, I went to the next one. And at that point in my makeup career, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just doing makeup in my room, posting pictures from my iPhone.
Yes. Yep.
Maybe a couple like little videos here and there. Nothing, nothing crazy. And also social media wasn't at a point where influencers were a thing.
No, it was like Facebook.
It was Facebook and a bit of YouTube also. Like, you had your main beauty gurus and these were their reviews and anybody else that didn't have a certain number of followers didn't mean their opinion. Anyway.
The tutorial girls.
Yes.
Yep.
So Ricky was very impressed by my work, which I was very thankful for. And he goes, get in touch with these guys because they have really cool things coming out and you'll fit right in. So I paid $5 for the meet and greet of Ice Nine Kills at Warped Tour.
$5.
It was a $5 poster to get everybody to sign it.
Is it the line? You like go through the line
Go
and
through
you
the
meet
line
them?
through the tent. Yep.
I did that for All Time Low at Warped Tour. It was great.
Yes. RIP Warped Tour. Please bring it back. So I did that and I got to Spencer at the very end and I said, hey, like, I met you previously. Here's my work. So I could jog his memory. He goes, oh, hi. Nice to see you again. And I said, if you ever needed an SFX artist, anybody like to help with music videos, I'm not too far. I have no limitations. I have a car. I can travel. Just giving him the works. And he's like, oh, okay, well, here's our video director for the upcoming music videos. Why don't you get in touch with him? Oh, fast forward. I'm working on A Grave Mistake and Stabbing in the Dark. For the Silver Scream album.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
So I go through that and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I wasn't doing makeup for the videos specifically. I was assisting and just helping out and I would do like touch-ups here and there. Nice. And then fast forward, they go on tour in the fall and I saw their tour, went to go say hi, homie vibes. And then they announced a tour with From Ashes to New co-headliner in March 2019 and I did the same thing. Hey, if you want somebody to come on board and help with your costumes, elevate your production, maybe even do makeup, you guys are in the characters right now.
Yep.
Like, I'd love to do that. And then my first tour was 3 months with, it was 2 tours. It was a co-headliner with From Ashes to New with support from Palisades, Afterlife, and Hawk. And then it rolled into the episode 3 tour with Falling in Reverse, Ice Nine Kills, From Ashes to New, and New Year's Day.
Oh my God.
2019. So that was my first tour, even though it was 2 tours combined.
What a way to start.
And I've been doing this ever since.
You hit the ground running.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
That was 2019. So 2019 started my touring career.
Okay.
But I kind of got into this world about fall 2018.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's been a journey to say the least.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
And it all started literally like with an ask and with honestly, like you wanting to do something. Like you fell in love with makeup first and then the music still kind of like brought it all together, which is just wild. Because I think when people think of the music industry and like touring in general, they think of, you have the band and like tour managers and merch. But I'm like, there's actually bigger productions out there. You have lighting designs, you have FX makeup artists, like pyro, sound, like there's so many different levels. And I mean, you even touch so many of the kind of behind the scenes. Is there something that you haven't gotten into that you want to get into? Or that you would just be like down to, be like, yeah, like I can help out with that?
I think I'm pretty content with everything I got
You got a
going
lot
for me.
going
Which I
on.
got a lot going
Yeah,
on
add
already.
another title.
I want to say maybe wardrobe, and I'm not super sound in wardrobe. Like I can get by.
Yeah.
Right. I know a couple tips and tricks of like how to help stuff smell better and cleaning and everything, but maybe just for knowledgeable purposes to get more into wardrobe, but I'm pretty content with everything I got under my belt.
That's a perfect kind of like parallel, but yet like wardrobe and makeup, I feel like visuals of it all. It's all very hand in hand. And so I feel like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And I would say my most frequently asked question too is just how do you do this?
Yeah.
How do you get into this industry? And like, I know you would say for me specifically, I got into it in such a unique way that it's not going to work for everybody. And even still, like how you get in is your own journey.
Yeah. Exactly. It's your own journey. And also, I think it's like important to remember timing of everything and like timelines. Like the bands that we know that we get connected with or that we have connections with today, nice. Crack it. Do it. The bands that we know and have like connections with today and like our homies aren't at the level that they are now. Yeah. So when we all went to Warped Tour in like 2017, they were all playing side stage. They weren't maybe like headlining and stuff like that. And so as much as we're like, you just got to go out there and like message your band. If you're messaging Black Veil Brides, they might not see it right away.
Maybe not right
away. But but it's like you have to have that passion first. I don't think you can go into anything in this industry being like, I'm going to
do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm done.
And then I'm done. Yeah.
And
there has to be a grind period.
Exactly.
You have to first learn the etiquette.
Yes.
You have to learn what it means to load in, load out. You have to learn what it means to wear pants for 5 days straight and not doing laundry and sleeping with a seatbelt in your side. Like it's all these growing pains. And
but they teach you a lot because there's a lot to be learned, I think. And a lot of it you can't just watch a video on or listen to a podcast about.
No.
It's all your journey, like you said, and it's all kind of, you have to go through it and live through it. What do you think has been the one thing that you kind of, I guess, I don't know, the biggest thing you've learned or a hard thing that you had to learn like the hard way?
Touring in general has just taught me to grow up in many different ways, to mature, to accept, and to learn to let go of. So I think touring has done a lot more for me than I think just going through life would have. Like it's done a lot more for me than if I were to not do it.
Yeah.
Definitely learn you're not going to make everybody happy. In one way or another, like if you're in this position and it's your call, that's what it is at the end of the day. And if nobody respects that decision, then it can either be a conversation or it could be, then you do the job.
Yeah.
But I definitely thankful for all that I've learned. It's hard to say what exactly specifics.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way that you go through this life and through the process of it. You learn something new every tour.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Whether that's, this is how to communicate better, or maybe I need to fix my sleep schedule better, or I'm not going to let this one thing that used to bother me when I'm home bother me going further because I learned how to overcome it.
That's so true.
It's very, it's really hard to just say, I've learned this and, you know, it's not linear. It's not linear. Like
it's a whole new lifestyle that you gotta adapt to and learn from. And
and you could pick up bad habits and relearn from those. So it's
for sure
crazy.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that, do you have a favorite memory of yours from touring, whether that's like an interaction with a fan or just a moment with the camp, being on tour, or anything that springs to mind of like a favorite memory of yours?
Like overall or like with a band specifically?
Let's do both. Let's do fans first.
With the fans?
Yeah.
I still get really excited when I see fans recreate anything that I've done with bands. Like whether it's from a photo promo or it's from, you know, a magazine cover, or if it's just something that even I just simply created, like not even with the band specifically. With the band specifically, it's a little more of a connection, right? But if they're like, yeah, I recreated like one of your looks from your Instagram page, like it still means a lot. Because I'm all for artist supporting artists. And if I, as an artist, am able to inspire and help another artist create, like that's another fulfilling feeling. It's, you know, because artists should never stop creating.
Absolutely.
Whether it's makeup or music or photography or anything. And, art's important in every way.
Period. Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. One of my craziest tour experiences was actually with Black Veil Brides this past Europe. This past Europe tour with Hailstorm, in support to Hailstorm. We were doing a border crossing.
Okay.
And, they always joke like, oh, somebody's hiding in the trailer or somebody's hiding in the bus. Well,
no.
There were actually some people that got into our trailer.
Oh, my gosh.
To cross whatever we were. I could not tell you where we were going. It was somewhere in Europe, I think over to the UK, or we were going to the UK. We were on our tail end of Europe into our UK date. And it was... The scary part of it is if they did not find those people, they would have been in there for, I think, like 2 days.
Oh, my gosh.
So we could have had a very interesting outcome once we opened those doors. Yeah. They could have just been, hi, we're alive, or they could have been not been alive.
Yeah. So thank God that didn't happen.
So the whole joke of like we're hiding people in the trailer. Nope, they were actually.
Maybe don't make that joke if you're crossing the border.
Yeah. That's insane.
Absolutely insane. So props to the dog with the good nose that sniffed them out.
Border Patrol dogs are doing their job.
I think that would be the craziest. And other than that, I've just had a lot of like amazing heart-to-hearts with artists that I've befriended, whether they were on the tour or if I worked with them directly. Like, befriending Chris Motionless was definitely something I never imagined. Getting to meet Jacoby from Papa Roach, iconic of a guy.
Yes. He was my very first interview ever when I started doing photography and everything. He was so nice.
His energy is insane.
He's so great.
Yeah. And just getting to see some other artists like live that I probably would never get the chance to because of my touring schedule or just because they're never coming around me when I'm out. So like festival days are great for that too. Yeah. So just a lot.
So much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think I want to hop over a little bit from the makeup realm into, like you said, assistant tour manager and like, was it production as well? What else? What was your other fun?
Production assistant.
Production assistant. So you, as we've mentioned 1,000%, this is going to be like the tagline. She does so many things. What is like a day in your life kind of like? Like when you wake up, like you're starting your day, you wake up, you're somewhere, some city.
I'm literally somewhere. I don't know where I'm at. What time is it? What time do I have to be in the venue? Where are the green rooms? Where's my stuff?
Yeah.
So for this tour specifically, I'm the first one in the venue.
Okay.
I see where the green rooms are. I see who I need to talk to, get the lay of the land. Where are the showers? Can my team go shower? Who's looking for a shower? Okay, get in there. Is there laundry? Is there this? Is there that? Did we pre-shop the rider? No? Okay, so I need to mentally prepare to have some people ask questions to tell them, no, there's no food here. Get them their food order. What time is it? Oh, I need to put a breakfast order in. It's a lot of that.
It's like the little daily things that you don't think about as you're just living your day.
Yes.
Yeah. You're doing for a crew of X amount of people.
Yeah. So all the little things that are nice when they're done is kind of what a production assistant does.
That's how you know you're doing your job right. I feel like when people don't ask, like, where's the shower?
Yeah.
Everything's pointed out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So like getting the day sheets up, getting all the rooms labeled, making sure like food is set at a certain time so everyone's on point with their schedule. VIP, so the band can just walk out and everything's taken care of. All the people are checked in. Like it's definitely, being a PA is definitely all the little jobs. Being a PM, I have not crossed that. I don't think I will. Because that deals with a lot of like what goes on stage, what kind of power is needed.
The logistics
of it. Yeah. Which is something that, again, like I've never crossed into that realm, but like hearing conversations, it's definitely a little overwhelming.
You're like, I'm so glad you are that person.
Yes,
I'm going to walk this
not
way.
Me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not me. I'm happy to like oversee it and then implement it in ways that I can.
Yeah.
However I can help. That's the assistant part.
I love it. Yeah, for sure. I don't even know if we explained kind of like the premise of our podcast like the first time we met too, but so our umbrella is Backing the Barricade. And we really started it with the heart of wanting to tell the fan stories. And it's like a fan-forward, fan-focused publication. Okay. And so then Beyond the Barricade is actually from the artist and crew's point of view.
Nice.
Anybody who's like in the music industry really at any level. Like we're just like getting to talk to and telling their stories about when they were fans
Nice.
and what it was like and how that moment in their lives have really shaped to what they're doing now and that passion and that drive.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And thank you. So one thing that we kind of always want to help reiterate to the fans or to anybody listening, it's like people who are doing this as their 9 to 5, essentially, they still have that passion for it. Once you lose that passion, I feel like you kind of lost the drive to do things.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't think you ever lose it if you're still actively in it.
Of course.
So I don't know if that tied into the final question or not, but I felt we could give the little premise of it first.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of with that in mind of like being a fan first and then like a music industry professional second, is there a certain
experience or anything like that that either keeps you going at the end of the day, or is there a certain moment that really like pushes you to be like, I'm not done yet here. I'm still working it. I'm still wanting to keep going.
Yeah.
that you like experience as a fan, not as like a professional working in the music industry, but just like as a fan, a moment that you're like, this is why we do this.
Because you're on the road a lot.
I'm on the road a lot, and I don't know if I have it from like if I were a fan, why I would want to keep doing it. I definitely have it as like,
What is it as like your
Okay, yeah,
professional?
take it that
as
way then.
I would say like the thank yous that I get.
Oh,
Like the thank you, being a crew person is a thankless job.
Yeah.
We're here to make the band's day
Easy.
perfect, flawless, easy. So all they have to worry about is walking on stage, their instruments work, they play a show, they're happy, they're fed, they go to bed.
Yep.
Being a crew person is being in the shadows and not being like in the light, because that's what the artist is for.
Yep.
But when an artist is very like thankful and shows gratitude, like thank you for your hard work, like thank you for making my day like great, like you're amazing. That's all worth it.
Yeah.
Because respect and gratitude, like when it's a two-way street, it makes it so much easier. It makes the day 10 times better. It's a better vibe, better healthy work environment.
Yeah.
And I think specifically with Black Veil, like I've never felt so much gratitude, love, and respect than I have like with than I have before.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the way that Andy will also just like randomly text me, be like, "Hey, like how's home? How's your family? Are you good? I hope you're enjoying your time off." And I'm just like,
they don't have to do that.
they don't have to do
Yeah.
that. They never
Yeah.
do. And again, even with these guys, like, you know, like say something like, "Oh, we should get candy. Like I've been craving some chocolate." On the rider.
Yep.
And I don't tell them. And then
No.
it comes on the next day and they're like, "Did you do this?" Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's kind of
It's the little things.
It's the
little
things,
things.
and it's those like unsaid things. Like, I mean, you mentioned too, really quick, just like running it back. Like you mentioned about fans who do a recreation of your look that you've done, even if it's something that you maybe didn't post, maybe it's something a band posted, but it's your idea, your creation, and you're seeing somebody else do it. Like the fan probably doesn't think in that moment, like, it's going to be a huge compliment to that artist, but it really is.
Yeah.
So it's like those like little like the unmentionables, the unsays, the little things that they don't think that they're making it that much of an impact on somebody's day, but they are.
Yeah. Touring has brought, like I said, brought so much into my life as far as growth and accomplishments that I don't think I probably would have achieved elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for it. Like the pandemic hit really hard because it was just like, when is this going to happen? When am I?
Everything stopped.
Everything stopped. When is music going to exist again? And a couple years later, it's back full
Here
force.
we are.
And
Here
now
we are.
everybody's going out.
Yes.
It's great. And
Yeah. We get to hang out with our friends.
Yes,
From
it's
all over.
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
one of my first shows back from COVID was a 21 Pilots show. And I remember this moment is stuck in my head forever, where Tyler, the lead singer, said there was a time last year where I didn't think that we would ever get this back. And I was trying to make myself okay with the fact that like live music just wasn't going to exist anymore. So then I feel like when it came back, it was such like a different thing where everyone was just so thankful for it. And I hope that carries on through the years to come, because it really is such like a special and cool thing that when it's taken away, you don't realize how much it means to everyone working or just on the fan side and everything.
Yeah. Sometimes on the rough days, I try to remind myself that it just couldn't exist. Like yesterday specifically, I should have reminded myself that, but the heat got to my head.
Yeah, Houston does that.
It's
Texas heat for you.
Yeah. Yes, it sucks. It does.
yeah, the bad days where it's like, God, this sucks. Like, why can't things just go right? And it's like, we could just not have it at all.
Yeah.
So
If there's one thing you can leave the fans with, what would it be?
just don't don't give up. Any form of rejection doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just simply means that you still have so much more work to do and so much more practice, and like just keep going.
Yeah.
Just because the first person says no doesn't mean you can't keep going. There's somebody else out there that's going to say yes.
I think to go with that, it's just like there's other things to learn.
Yeah.
And there's other things that you're going to be able to bring to the table next time.
Yeah. And just don't be afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
Because if you accept, if Einstein said no to me, I just been like, okay, on to the next, you know, but they didn't. And I almost didn't get that poster, and I almost didn't pay the $5 because I thought, what a silly question. Why would they? But they did, because what if I didn't do that?
Yeah.
So.
And now look at you.
And now look at
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much. This
talking
was
with
great.
us.
Of course.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And you're amazing. And
Thank you.
good luck on the rest of tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was us talking to Chevy, quite literally right before she had to go work.
Yeah. Like minutes before Black Veil Brides were going
About
on.
to go on. Yeah, exactly. The one thing that I remember, I think the most from just talking to her, or like the biggest impact I think that I kind of left that day with, was the value of connections.
Oh, yeah.
Within the industry. And that literally it reflects like how we met her.
Oh, yeah.
So we met Chevy actually through Gail when we were meeting with Gail, and you can listen back to that episode.
Yes, if you haven't listened to Gail's episode,
Go do that.
go do that next.
We were done with Gail's episode, and we're just walking around, and Gail was like, I know somebody you guys need to interview. Let me introduce you. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And Chevy was there just like the last like few days of tour, and we were talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I'm doing this run, and I think we'll be back in Dallas. And we were like, please, like, let us know whenever you come back. Like, we'd love to sit down with you and talk to you for the podcast. And she was like, okay, yeah, like, absolutely. I love that. And we always like, I don't know, you kind of hold your breath because people are just people, and, you know, they say that and their days are busy.
And also just the nature of this podcast is very hard because 80% of the time we're recording episodes with people while they're on tour, like the day of a show. And so there's just a lot of factors working against us as far as like if they get into the city late, or if their day doesn't turn out how it's supposed to, like
Flights get delayed.
yeah, you just never know. So we're careful to hold our breath with plans to record episodes.
It's literally not until we sit down and we're like, okay, this is actually happening.
Yeah, just because of the nature of the way we're recording these.
Yeah. And so we reached out to her when we realized that she was like a few days away from Dallas, and we're like, hey, don't know if you remember us. And she was like, oh my God, yeah, of course. Like like, let's go. Let me text you the day like of, so you kind of know like where I'm at, and I'll be able to know a little bit more. And we were like, okay. And we did. And we're so thankful for Gail and for Chevy.
Yeah.
Because it was literally all worlds combining. But that is literally how she kind of got started too.
Yeah. And I think I just love both of them so much, because I think both of them said to us, like, once we were done recording each of their episodes, like separately, they were both like, hey, if you ever need more guests, like, let me know. Like, I can get you in touch with other people that I think would be really good with it, or really good for this. So I just love
that.
Yeah. How willing to help people are, and how willing to connect other people to, you know.
It's very hard to do anything, I think, in this industry. And so everybody who's actually like doing it, they understand that.
Yes.
And so they would try to help out within means like of what they can, and can't promise anything, obviously.
For sure.
So we really appreciate all of our friends that we have who are willing to help us.
And Chevy had and obviously, like, you just listened to the interview with Chevy, but she talks kind of about how her first tour was literally that. It was just a little connection that she made. She kept showing up to shows. Yeah. Kept saying hi, introducing herself, like letting people know that she's available. And that's really all you need, is that first little connection. And then everything just snowballs from there.
Everything does snowballs.
Snowballs. That's how the music industry works.
But also usually it's me like having tongue ties.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun for me to see you happen.
That was my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else did you pull out of this episode that you liked a lot?
Chevy was just so fun to talk about, just because she kind of has her hands in every aspect of the behind the scenes of tours that she goes on. And I really, really loved getting to talk to her about VIP meet and greets.
Yeah. So she's quite literally like the buffer right before fans meet these artists.
Yeah. She literally facilitates fan
Meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan, what am I trying to say? Fan moments. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Experiences. Fan experiences. Wow, I cannot talk today.
You really can't.
That's
but
the
it's
one.
totally fine. Which again is another role. We kind of mentioned this in the intro. It's another role that we didn't think was an actual job.
Yeah.
I mean, not like you didn't think it was an actual job, but you don't think of that as like a tour position that people do. Like
it's kind of like you said, like you kind of think, tour manager, guitar tech, photographer, videographer, like
Sound
all the
guy,
like
the people you see.
Yeah. You don't necessarily think about the people that are quite literally backstage the entire time.
They are the unsung heroes of tour.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So that was really cool getting to hear her, just like all the things that she helps with, but also her touch points that she has with the fans. And I really loved the point that she makes about kind of humanizing the artist for the fans right before they meet them, because that can be such like an overwhelming feeling and experience for fans. So I love that she tries to like really, really have them be present in that moment and kind of get the most out of it that they can.
Yeah, it's really nice. Kind of her like allowing the fans to have this moment, but not be like overwhelmed by the emotional aspect of it. So she kind of is that person who like brings them down and reminds them like they are just silly guys or, whoever it is. But I don't know. It's very
cool.
like reassuring and just like a calming factor to her.
Yeah.
She's like the perfect role for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was so easy to talk to and so had so many good, I also just loved her stories of people hiding in their trailer.
That was actually the most crazy tour story I think that I've heard.
Yeah.
Personally. So any future bands they have to try to top that tour story because people hiding in the trailer
and being found by border
control.
Yeah.
That's something to beat. And I don't know if they can. Yeah, good luck. Let that, be out. Speak that into the universe. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite part?
I think the part that like kind of like hit my heart home was like when we asked her like what was like kind of like keeps the thing that keeps her going or whatever. And she said the thank yous.
Yes.
She was like the connections, that kind of happen off the road. So like when tours kind of end and when things are not moving, she'll get like text from people being like, hey, like, how's the family? Like, how are you guys doing? Or, just things like that. I think I'm like, that's what makes it, honestly. The fact that people are able to have this kind of persona on stage or, this like life on Instagram to their fans. But then really, honestly, kind of like what we were just saying, at the end of the day, they are just human. They're normal people. And they care and, they'll reach out to her.
And touring is not for the faint of heart. And so I feel like everyone kind of having that mutual respect and like gratitude for each other, I would imagine just helps so much, especially when you're on the road for 3 months and you haven't seen your family and you haven't, been at home. And I can imagine that gets really hard. And that human aspect of it and just being grateful for everyone that you're on tour with, I feel like is very necessary.
It's very necessary. I think also too, the hype up that I just got when we were talking about like East Coast Warped Tour dates.
Your eyes light up every time we talk about the East Coast. And I love it.
The levels for the sound like spiked like extremely up. Like, we
L'Oreal got excited.
We all got excited. Not just me. But because honestly, yes, because it is the East Coast, but also it's so relatable.
Yeah.
And it's relatable. One, definitely for me, because like I know the Hartford date of Warped Tour, but like for you too, like when she was mentioning like, at Warped Tour, you would pay like $5 for the poster and meet the band.
Yep.
We were joking off camera about that's like depression prices. Like
$5
compared to like some meet and greets now.
I can't get a water bottle at a festival for $5 now.
Oh my God, you're so right. Yeah. So anyway, Young Blood, help us. Bloodfest hashtag. But like that's like, it was just like a moment in time where it was like very, like memorable. And I was like, I related to that because like I was that person too, buying the poster to meet All Time Low at Warped Tour 2009.
We are at the heart of everything, just Warped Tour kids.
We are just Warped Tour kids. Throw us in a parking lot in 90-degree heat and see what happens, you know?
And we'll thrive.
That's where I thrived. I peaked at Warped Tour.
Yep.
Is that a shirt somewhere?
It needs to be.
Check out our merch coming soon.
But not.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please make sure to rate the episode.
Yeah.
Is that
write
what
a
it's
review.
called? Rating the episode? Rate this episode?
That's not right. What is it?
I think it's called Rate the Episode. Or make sure you're watching the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can do that. And
subscribe to the podcast or subscribe. Yeah.
Yes. To the podcast.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, we were struggling today. Rate, subscribe, write us a review. That really helps. But yeah, we've got more episodes coming.
Yeah, more episodes coming. You can also subscribe to, like you said, our YouTube. You can also follow us on all social medias. Backing the Barricade is our main Instagram, but we are also on TikTok and
YouTube.
What's the other one?
Not LinkedIn,
Not LinkedIn, as I mentioned before.
Main.
Yeah,
yeah,
Facebook?
We are on Facebook. We kind of. We're there, but
it's ish. That's where I troll.
Who's on Facebook anymore?
Listen, if you go to our Facebook, you'll see me get in fights with people online.
We did get our first hate comment on Facebook.
We did.
That felt like a proud moment.
That keyboard warrior stood no chance against me, first of all.
No, he did not.
He really didn't. Yeah. You can also follow our personal Instagrams. I'm at L'Oreal Michelle with one L.
One L. Very important to note. I'm Earth to Madison.
Yeah.
It's all linked.
It's all there.
Us. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Follow along for all the fun.
Yeah. And we will have an episode next week.
Yeah. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.